Hello everybody. It's been a while since I've made a video. Last month I've been really rough on phones. I've lost a couple, I've broken a couple. Got a big fight with Verizon. So yeah. Anyway, so I've been trying to watch everybody's videos whenever I had something that worked, and put a lot of liked. Hit the like a lot. Didn't comment as much as I normally do. But anyway, this is brought to you by 7-Eleven coffee. And 7-Eleven coffee is usually not burnt. I'm trying to show around a little bit. Boat's all closed up. That's why there's styrofoam over the windows. I'm on the boat, checking it out, making sure she didn't sink. And driving down from work, everybody's making videos about the coronavirus, and there's a lot of concern about it, and there's good reason. From an economic standpoint, we buy a lot of stuff from China, and China's shut down right now, so the shipping shuts down, so the ports shut down, so the trucks shut down, so the stores don't have goods, they don't have products. If I break my cell phone this month, I probably won't get one for a while because they didn't make them in China, and China shut down. So there's a lot going on, and then there's the human aspect, the suffering, and everything else. Then there's, is it going to spread? Is it going to go to, it's in India, it's here, it's wherever. I don't think if it does hit, it'll be like SARS, where the Far East got hit pretty hard, Asia got hit pretty hard, the United States, Canada, even Mexico really didn't get hit very hard, Europe really didn't get hard. There's something to say for clean air and clean water, and whether you love them or hate them, Richard Nixon set up the EPA to set standards for clean air and clean water. And whether you love Richard Nixon or not, we got pretty clean air, we got pretty clean water, and our factories really don't pollute because of him. China, that's not the story. Everything's toxic. The water's bad, the pigs are all dying, the chickens all died, they bought new chickens, now the new chickens are all dying, all the wild birds died. China's got serious problems. So if they're having an epidemic, it's probably because everybody's immune systems are shot to hell already. But there's a lot of, I didn't watch all of them, but I watched a couple of them. People talking about, what do you do about it? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And I'm kind of in a unique situation because my house is in a little town in the middle of the mountains in the middle of Pennsylvania. But we only have a 1/4 acre. And the soil's not too great. And I've been composting, got a compost pile going, but there's probably enough to make like a 5x5 raised bed, if that. So we're not going to grow a hell of a lot. There's deer, there's fish in the streams, there's rabbits, there's pheasants, but everybody else that's hungry is going to go after them too, so they're not going to last. So it's a good place for a lot of reasons. As far as trying to scrape out a livelihood in the town, it's probably, once you run out of provisions, you're probably kind of beat. And the other thing is that everybody else that runs out of provisions is going to be doing the exact same thing. They're all going to be hunting and fishing, and that's it. So certain things, certain catastrophes, I think it's a pretty good place for something like this, maybe not so much. The other thing is that just up the hill is an interstate. Down the hill there's an interstate. We're tucked in the middle. Pottsville is the county seat. It's the biggest city in the county. It's not that big, but it is a city. And once it hits there, it hits everywhere. So in that respect, I don't think it's the safest place in the world. Then you got the family farm, which is big, it's very sustainable. You could camp out, you could pack your stuff, go there, and you could stay there for a long time. But I'm sure my whole entire family, all my brothers and sisters and stuff will be there. And I got a real big family, so chances are somebody else is going to bring it, and everybody's going to get sick there anyway. So that, you know, and plus, not everybody has done a lot of hands-on farming like I have. You know, my younger sister, to an extent. My brother Matt does a lot of gardening. When he's a musician. When he's around, he does a lot of gardening. And my brother John, and that's about it. But there's, you know, I got 3 brothers, 3 sisters. Everybody's married. Everybody has kids. So, you know, the little farm is going to be, you know, like a small village overnight. I don't really see it happening there. But then I also have the option of the boat, and that's where I am right now. And the upside of the boat is, if I picked up a water purifier, you know, a desalinator, I wouldn't have to worry about water. It's a big boat, but it has sails, so you could stretch fuel for a very long time. You're out in the ocean, you can go fishing. It's got enough room. Everything we have for foodstuffs at home, we probably have 6 months of food at my house. We could bring that down here and we could go out to sea. Short side of that is you'd never be able to come back to land, because wherever you go, people always say, who the hell are you and how do we know you're not sick? You stay there or we're going to sink your boat with you on it. So I don't think going to sea to outrun this thing is a great idea either. Because literally, some little town in Maine, you know, nobody has it. So you cruise up the coast, you know, a few weeks later you find this little town in Maine. Why do they want you there? They don't know you. You're nobody. You're just somebody that's going to get them all sick, and then they're all going to die anyway. So anyway, that was my thoughts for the night. This is starting to run pretty long. But I guess my point is that you kind of do whatever you can to stay not sick. Try to be healthy, eat clean, you know, stay away from crowds. Just take the precautions like it's, you know, a serious flu season. Because I don't think you're going to run away from it. You know, I don't think anybody's going to run away from it. I think it's just what it is what it is, and that's it. And it's going to run its course. I think it's going to be like SARS when I may be wrong. I hope I'm not, but maybe. SARS was, you know, really terrible in Asia and the Far East, and it petered out pretty quick by the time it left the shores and came here. It wasn't even, people had it and they didn't even realize it. They went to the doctors because they thought they had a head cold and were testing they had SARS. So meanwhile, it was, you know, 2 out of 10 people were dying of it in Asia for a while. Not that bad, but bad. Anyway, my thoughts on it. You all have a good night.